Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm brought to you by Hope to Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. I'm going to do the July 18th, just for today, in a meditation with you. I'm looking forward to that. I hope you're doing good this morning. I'm fair, not great, but I'm fair. I'm ready for the day. Got into work early. Uh, so I'm looking forward to, whatever God brings my way today. Let's go ahead and share that screen and get right into it. Looks like it's a beautiful meditation. It is entitled The Gift of Desperation. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until, in desperation, we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. And that comes from our basic text, page 13. Okay. When we think of being desperate, we envision an undesirable state, a poor, bedraggled, bedraggled rather, soul frantically clawing at something sorely needed, a desperate look in the eyes. We think of hunted animals, hungry children, and of ourselves before we found NA. Yet it was the desperation we felt before coming to NA that compelled us to accept the first step. We were fresh out of ideals and so became open to new ones. Our insanity had finally risen higher than our wall of denial, forcing us to get honest about our disease. Our best efforts at control had only worn us out. Hence, we became willing to surrender. We have received the gift of desperation, and as a result, we're able to accept the spiritual principles that make it possible for us to recover. Desperation is what finally drives many of us to ask for help. Once we've reached this state, we can turn around and start anew. Just as the desperate, hunted animal seeks a safe haven, so do we in Narcotics Anonymous. Just for today, the gift of desperation has helped me become honest, open minded, and willing. I am grateful for this gift because it has made my recovery possible. We never really think about how our destitute state in active addiction was a gift. We don't. We sort of glance over those days before we got to the program of Narcotics Anonymous or sought any sort of help, really. Physically speaking, it's not always the case because if a person is really sick, having pains, um, they tend to remember the symptoms, right? Before they sought help from a doctor. Just imagine someone having cancer and um, not feeling well for a period of time and decide to go see a doctor, and then the doctor orders some blood work, and the blood work comes back and shows evidence of leukemia. And it's not just any kind of leukemia, it's aggressive, and they must start chemotherapy if they want to live immediately because the stage is well progressed, maybe even stage 3 or 4. It's very progressive. If they want to live, they need to start this process of chemotherapy. We can remember that. How did you find out you had cancer? Oh, I was such and such and such and such. But it seems like with the disease of addiction, I think sometimes because people don't really see it in terms of the medical definition of disease, they still wrestle with that. And even if you look at the DSM 4, I think the DSM 4 was the first one that actually, um, had a term for the disease of addiction, right? Alcohol use disorder, substance use disorder. And so With time, even in psychology, people have come to accept that this is a disease. But in general, when we're talking about the addict seeking recovery, the addict in recovery, they are not typically going to go back to the beginning days of when they realized that they had a problem. They pretty much probably already knew they had a problem, but they're not going to, um, be so quick to tell you the stories about all of the people they took advantage of and all of the lies that they told and how many restaurant bathrooms they had to wash up in, if they washed up at all, how many dirty needles. They're not really going to talk about just how sick they were unless they're asked to share at a first step meeting or they're doing their step work. So when you look at someone in recovery that has ceased using any substance, any mind, mood altering substance recreationally, they have ceased to do that, you almost do not know, just to look at them, how bad off they actually were. That can be problematic for the addict in recovery themselves. But if you were to look at your own track record, and I tell people when I used to share quite a bit more than I do now, at conferences and stuff like that, conventions, I would always say, I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I'm going to qualify just a little bit. I don't have enough time to completely qualify and tell you everything that took place. But I am going to share enough with you. And if you're not convinced that the person that is standing before you is an individual that earned her seat at the table, then look at your own track record because you're here. Look at your own stuff. Just try to identify with me and don't look for the differences. Look at the similarities. And if what I'm saying is not an attraction, just by the fact that I'm standing here and made it out alive, look at your own track record. See, the gift of desperation is a gift to the beholder if they open their eyes and see it that way. The gift of desperation has the potential, I want to say, to exist for every recovering addict. For every recovering addict. At some point in time, we found Narcotics Anonymous. And so that is evidence that there was the potential for the gift of desperation. Now, what does it look like in Narcotics Anonymous when you have not received the gift of desperation? Because the gift of desperation is always there. If you're in Narcotics Anonymous, the potential to have it is always there, but it's in how you look at it. If you do not look at what brought you here as the gift of desperation, then what happens, and I just have to say this in plain English, is that you go back out, you relapse. See, that's why we can say we've never seen anyone work this program. And I'm paraphrasing, right? We've never seen anyone work this program fail to find recovery. No. We've never seen a grateful addict relapse. I'm paraphrasing. But I'm saying that because you are familiar with this language. You are familiar. You have heard this before. So a person that bypasses the gift of desperation for whatever reason, but a lot of times it's just pride. Like you clean up and you get into the program and you're so wrapped up in all of the extras that come with the fact that now you're clean, the new job, the new man, the new woman, the new house, the new car, the friendships, and you forget to maintain your foundation. And as a result of that, you start seeing the fruit, right, as being the gift, when in actuality, the desperation was your gift, the feeling of being lost and not wanting to live and having a willingness to commit suicide on a daily basis. These were your gifts. But if you are not wise, you will bypass them. And you would think the fruits or the benefits of coming clean are your gifts. And when you focus on the wrong thing, when you take your eyes off the prize, when you focus on that wrong thing, then you've left a back door open for your disease of addiction to revisit you. And when it revisits you, you will think that you need to sit down with it and keep it company. Come on, somebody. I'm on it today. I don't always hit the nail on the head every day, but I am on it today. If you allow the disease of addiction to come in and sit with you and become familiar with it again, you are sitting in a barbershop thinking that you're not going to get a haircut. You are most certainly going to get a haircut, right? Because the barber's job is to make money by cutting hair. And you are not just going to take up space, right? If you're going to sit here, let me cut your hair, right? The old game, right? If you're here, benefit from what I bring to the table. Same thing with the disease of addiction. If you entertain it and you sit with it as though it was your friend, eventually that thought that comes up that you can use one more time, you can actually use and not destroy your life. These dark, conniving, baffling, cunning, lower power thoughts will begin to make an entryway into your mind, your heart, and your spirit. And you will be left futile. You will be left without recourse. You will be left with no other decision than to cave in. I don't want that for you. What I'd rather have for you is to leave from this podcast and reread this just for today in a meditation. I would rather that you open your eyes and see the gift of desperation for what it's worth. The things that brought you here, you embrace them in the sense that they are a gift to you, right? Your desperation in that moment that you decide to stop using and come to the rooms is a gift. And when a person has received the gift of desperation, let's just break this down. Let me sip my coffee real quick. Okay, so when a person, I know you can relate to this, as using addicts, we can relate to getting gifts for our loved ones, our children, putting them under the tree, letting them open them, maybe let them open them, and then taking them, returning them for the money, or getting gifts from family members with the gift receipt and returning them, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, my sinuses are horrible today. So we can relate as recovering individuals to this ideal of misusing presents, right? Gifts. However, when you give someone that you love a gift, Maybe it's a silver cross, a gold cross, a diamond cross. When you give someone that you love a gift, yeah, this is interesting. It takes me down some rabbit holes, but you expect for them to value the gift at least to the extent that you valued taking your hard-earned money and getting it for them. Now, my mother today, I have a necklace on. It has a horse and it's on a chain that has diamonds interceptedly. You know, they're staged throughout the necklace. And I don't wear it every day. I wear it when I'm in a certain mood, right? When I need a kind of like a pacifier, right? When I'm feeling not too great, I'll wear this necklace because I love to put the necklaces of a horse, right? Within a circle. So I love to hold on to this and rub it and think about my pop, who used to own race horses, and think about uh, it just called it's nostalgic. It's cause it's something within me. So I don't wear it every day. There was one day that I wasn't wearing it. And I wasn't wearing it because I knew that it was really, really um, a busy day. Like I was going to be physically moving a lot of things. And I knew that there's always the potential to, when you're moving that often, for something to catch your jewelry and snap a lightweight, dainty necklace, chain, right? So I didn't have it on. And I was going by there to deliver something. And she saw my neck and she said, "Where's your necklace?" And I knew instantly she was hurt. She thought that I was not honoring the, the process of her actually getting it for me and giving it to me. I could see that little twinge of hurt in her eyes. And I said, "Mom, that necklace is so special to me. I have to make sure that when I wear it, I don't risk losing it. Today's just a busy day, but believe me, that necklace is so, so precious to me." And then she smiled. I don't interact with my mother that often. And so, what I'm saying to you is that when you are given a gift that you value, you take care of it. You don't let it collect dust, right? You don't tuck it into the back corner of your dresser and never look at it again. Oh, there's some jewels that I have that I do that with, right? Should be in a safe, right? However, the point that I'm making is the gift of desperation requires the beholder to acknowledge it, the beholder to cherish it, the beholder to maintain it. So by you doing things such as waking up every day, doing your just for the day in a meditation, going to a meeting, working with your sponsor, enjoying the network, um, not just working with your sponsor, but working your steps and applying them, doing service work. These are things that give evidence that the beholder, the addict, values the gift of desperation that they receive. And that's what I want for you to do. I want you to start acting like you value it, right? I don't want to focus too much on the negative part of the desperation, how animalistic our living skills have become. I don't want to focus on that too much from this reading. I want to focus on the beauty in this reading, the hope in this reading. And it is my hope that hope will be everything to you, that you will enjoy the gift of desperation and treat it like it's a wonderful, beautiful gift that has opened up many doors in your life. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today, and I am going to be talking to you tomorrow.